As you know, I've grown out of the two-party system illusion. Nowhere in the Constitution does it say we must have two parties. That convention was a creation of the political class. In fact, I think it's safe to say that the last time Americans could fully trust the lion's share of our political class was when they gifted us the greatest man-inspired document in human history, the U.S. Constitution. Now, from that point on, collectivists, more enamored with the idea of rule by an elite class, have sought to erode the protections of that founding document. In so doing, they compromise the safety, security, and longevity of this republic. America is done playing Washington's games. That's my observation in today's preamble. The wise and venerable Mark Twain once wrote, "Loyalty to country always, loyalty to government when it deserves it." Those sage words allowed our people to properly and rightly separate government from the United States of America. In short, America is our people. Our political elites increasingly show no resemblance to the people they are supposed to protect and represent. In short, now more than ever, government does not equal America. Without question, there is nothing American about the current regime that occupies Washington or the pretend opposite party that claims to be the loyal opposition. In fact, that's why it's fair for every patriotic American to say, "I hate my government because I love my country." What our government on both the state and federal levels are doing to our people, it's unconscionable. Some would say it is the ultimate betrayal. America's most powerful enemy and greatest threat, China, has financed another attack on our nation, targeting our most vital infrastructure. Now, this is hardly the first, nor will it be the last attack on our once free people by the slimy communists. Every step of the way, this has been the American regime's response.
Now, we're also united in our approach to the People's Republic of China. In the joint statement released yesterday, outlines the shared principles we've all agreed at the G7 and beyond dealing with China. We're not looking to decouple from China. We're looking to de-risk and diversify our relationship with China.
All right. That's Joe Biden, a man who a majority of Americans believe is compromised by that very same communist enemy. He is pledging to keep sending American money over to China so they can finance more attacks on our vital infrastructure, so they can continue to build bullets and bombs to kill Americans. No decoupling as long as Democrats control the Oval Office. Joe Biden leads a political party fully dedicated to the communist regime in communist China. 65 of these Democrats actually voted to protect China from investigations that would reveal the depth of their attacks on our people. Now, just in case you're tempted to believe that only Democrats work to enable China to target our people, the GOP is busy killing conservative measures designed to thwart China's dark designs. The Texas Senate, populated with a majority of conservatives, passed a bill that would stop communist China and other anti-American enemies like Mother Russia and Iran from buying land in Texas. It passed over a month ago. Most Americans think, well, it's kind of common sense not to allow your enemies to get a foothold into your own country, to launch attacks, spy on your military, and compromise your nation's food chain. Well, it would be like allowing Nazi Germany to buy land in the United States in 1940. Nobody could be considered a patriot, a real American, who would kill such a bill, right? Well, that's precisely what the GOP leadership in the Texas House did, colluding with Democrats who we've already established support America's enemies to kill a bill that would have prevented our enemies from buying land in the United States. The Texas House GOP leadership killed a host of other bills that would have protected the safety, freedom, and prosperity of Texans. The Dallas Express put it this way, quote, "With only a week left in session, Representative Brian Harrison, a Republican from Midlothian, lamented on Twitter that the Republican-controlled House had not passed education freedom, passed real border security, had bothered to ban COVID mandates, reinforced energy markets or reliable sources, didn't ban taxpayer-funded lobbying, didn't ban DEI in college, didn't put limits on executive powers, or eliminate property taxes. As we told you yesterday, the Republican leadership in the Texas House is handpicked by Democrats, or those who sympathize with Democrat priorities. Priorities like making sure China can have ample opportunity to bring our nation to its knees. Now, I'm a Texan who has a front row seat for this GOP collusion with pro-China Democrats. But you would be foolish to think you don't have similar non-conservative Republicans in your state too, pretending to represent you while facilitating Democrats' priorities. Now, if many of you think this sounds like a pattern we've been revealing for months now, well, you'd be right. The Texas House leadership is exactly the same kind of Republican that you will find in the United States Senate, pro-Democrat Republicans. As a reminder, these non-conservative Republicans, they fully funded all the lawbreaking that is being alleged in the DOJ, the FBI, and other alphabet agencies. In a brilliant op-ed today, former Speaker of the House, Newt Gingrich, pointed out how Merrick Garland's breaches of the public's trust and law are far more egregious than Nixon's AG in the Watergate scandal. Newt, writing in a Fox Digital op-ed, quote, Mitchell is an extremely important parallel to the current disaster because Attorney General Merrick Garland seems to be doing a lot more obstructing of justice than Mitchell ever dreamed of doing. Garland's Justice Department repeatedly instructed the IRS to disband the unit investigating Hunter Biden's taxes. He has used the FBI to harass former President Donald Trump and a wide range of Republicans, and he's turned a blind eye to every report of foreign money going to the Biden family, end quote. Now, I want to buttress the Speaker's charge here. A story out today features a laughable display. The IRS is claiming the DOJ made us do it. IRS Commissioner Daniel Werfel says the Department of Injustice directed his agency to remove the team investigating the finances of Joe Biden's cokehead son. Now, of course, the IRS didn't have to comply with the DOJ breaking the law, but the IRS did because leftists stick together. Oh, by the way, the law in question, that would be 18 U.S.C. 1510, which makes it illegal to interfere with any criminal investigation being conducted by any federal agency. That includes the IRS. But as you know, Merrick Garland is above the law, my friends, because Mitch McConnell, John Cornyn, and 16 other Republicans made sure all of his malign activities were fully funded by you. Don't forget, it was Merrick Garland who refused to enforce federal law against those threatening and intimidating Supreme Court justices. Garland's inaction led to an assassination attempt of a sitting Supreme Court justice. And then there was Mitch McConnell and those Texas House-style Republicans ready to write this corrupt Department of Injustice a blank check. Merrick Garland has refused to investigate and prosecute attacks on women's pregnancy centers and Catholic churches while targeting those very same Catholics for harassment and baseless prosecutions. All the while, the Surrender Caucus GOP makes sure he has all of our money to punish us for opposing the Democrats' anti-American policies. Every step of the way, Garland's lieutenant, Christopher Wray, he's obeying, protecting Democrats from righteous prosecution and targeting Democrats' political enemies for attack. And speaking of Christopher Wray, he may take one for the leftist team. Conservative Congressman James Comer sent out this message yesterday, quote, FBI Director Wray is defying a congressional subpoena for an unclassified record alleging a criminal scheme involving then VP Joe Biden and a foreign national. If Director Wray refuses to hand over this record, the Republican Oversight Committee will begin contempt of Congress proceedings. Wray would be the first FBI director to be held in contempt of Congress, and oh, does he deserve it. While we're on the conservatives' efforts to punish the corruption that is harming all of us, Congressman Jim Jordan, a conservative, is demanding an update on the January 6th pipe bomber. Jordan's letter to the disgraced FBI indicates that very same FBI knows the license plate of the suspect's car, but no arrests. A former FBI assistant director tells congressional conservatives, quote, it just doesn't add up. There's just too much to work with not to know who this guy is, end quote. Is Christopher Wray protecting another Democrat in the same fashion he's allegedly protecting the Biden family? Either way, Christopher Wray, it seems to me, doesn't deserve a pay stub. He deserves a pink slip or an orange jumpsuit. Part of winning any battle is to know thy enemy. And from what we've been able to confirm, our enemies wear both Democrat and GOP clothing. So instead, why don't you vote your values, not political party? Believe it or not, there are classical liberals out there who don't want to sell you out to communist China, or want you to lose your right of free speech, or want you to become a servant of an all-powerful state. Our lives and our futures are no game. And the elites in government who treat us all as pawns on a chessboard are the enemies of freedom that real Americans should stand up to and defeat. They have earned our opposition because we love our country. One day, I hope to love our government again, too.